Now for the Bitcoin, XRP and Solana prices, ladies and gentlemen. We have less than 2 days until the next major crypto move. Will the Bitcoin price head towards $90,000 in the coming days, and will a crypto market correction follow, or is this crypto correction happening now in the near future? Let's start with the Bitcoin price, then we'll discuss new positions and go over a few economic events that will soon have a major impact on the price. In the last few videos we discussed that we have a flag pattern here. You might also refer to this pattern as a triangle formation, and at this moment we are interested in seeing whether we will witness a breakout here moving towards the $90,000 mark, or if we might instead see a correction pulling back from this white line quite soon, perhaps even as early as Wednesday evening down towards at least $70,000. What's going to happen in the coming days and which events will impact the Bitcoin price? Let's start with that, and then we'll discuss the new positions and the support and resistance zones in more detail. I mentioned in my last few videos that we have the Fed's interest rate decision coming up on Wednesday, April 29th. The Fed likely won't cut interest rates, and the press conference following the Fed's decision will be crucial. First up is the interest rate decision, then the press conference, and after that we have a few more economic events. We'll get into that in a moment. As I said, the Fed will most likely not cut interest rates, and I expect the market to correct around the Fed decision and possibly the next day, on Thursday. The next Federal Reserve decision is not until June. This means we will receive the official inflation figures for April sometime next month, and inflation has most likely risen due to the events unfolding between America and Iran. That is a negative development. The Fed will likely mention this at the press conference as well. And as I said, the press conference itself could be received rather negatively. But after the press conference, we also have the quarterly earnings of American companies on Wednesday. These companies have a very strong, or rather a large market capitalization. It will likely be a positive event, but nonetheless the Fed could drag the market down, and the next day, Thursday, is also very important. That's when we have other quarterly earnings from American companies and other key days. These companies have a large market capitalization. That means it will also be volatile on those days. So Wednesday will definitely be volatile, and as I said, we're now interested in where the Bitcoin price goes from this formation upwards towards 90,000, or will we see a breakout to the downside. As you can see here, the Bitcoin price broke out of this yellow formation to the downside back then. That's the theory. That's how the flag pattern works. The price goes down, forms the flag, and then it goes down again. That's also an example of a flag pattern, and that's an example of a triangle pattern. The price goes down, forms the triangle pattern, and then goes down again. So to summarize briefly, most of the time the price moves downward out of such a pattern. That means the probability of a correction is very high. This signifies that we are not just witnessing this breakthrough right here. It does not simply mean that we will see 70,000, but in all likelihood we will see at least $55,000. I have to admit, though, sometimes there are breakouts to the upside. Let's put it this way, 20% of the time such breakouts to the upside occur from this kind of formation. There are statistics on this. That would mean a price of roughly 92,000. But for that to happen, the Bitcoin price has to break through this white line. And as I've explained to you, if you aren't in a position right now, you should wait until the price consolidates above this white line to avoid a fake breakout to the upside. The price is not yet above the white line. That means a correction is still very likely, and in 80% of cases the price goes down. I also told you in the last videos, here we have a trend line like this. If the Bitcoin price consolidates here, meaning with several candles, there is a high probability that it will reach around 70,000. If it fails to hold 70,000 and consolidates here, we will see a correction at least towards $55,000. That would be the price target from this triangle formation. The next price target would be in the $45,000 to $40,000 range. That would be this level. This is the next potential consolidation area where the Bitcoin price could move sideways. So, as I said, it will definitely be volatile on Wednesday. And currently the situation is that the Bitcoin price is failing to break above this white line. What's currently happening with the XRP price? We have a sort of triangle formation with the XRP price. This means the XRP price depends on the Bitcoin price. If the Bitcoin price continues to drop now, the Bitcoin price has a purple line and a white line, you see? It hasn't broken through the white line, it's moving down from this white line. Should the Bitcoin price break through the white line and head towards $90,000, the XRP price will follow. But first, the Bitcoin price needs to break through its white line. The price target would be in the $2 range, but as I just told you, the probability of a correction is high. It's higher than an uptrend. This means the XRP price could drop soon. If it breaks through this white line here, that's a sign that a correction is happening, and the downside price target would be in the 77-cent range. So if the Bitcoin price, especially if the Bitcoin price doesn't hold 70,000, then we should definitely expect these green lines here. In my recent videos, I've shown you the turning points for the Bitcoin price. So if, let's assume the Bitcoin price corrects towards $40,000, then the XRP price will hold around 57 cents. Feel free to take a screenshot if you need this zone. Or let's assume the Bitcoin price heads towards $50,000, then the XRP price will hold around 80 cents. If we were to see a major correction towards $40,000 in the Bitcoin price, then the price target from this triangle formation would be the final price target in the 48-cent range. But for that, we would actually need a major Bitcoin correction. Solana is also currently showing a very clear triangle pattern. Solana's price is heavily dependent on Bitcoin's movements. Sadly, Bitcoin failed to break its crucial white line. Consequently, Solana is moving downwards, as you can clearly see. Should the Bitcoin price break above its white line, the probability is low, but it exists, then we would see the Solana price rise to around $113. For that to happen, the Solana price must also break through its white line. But should the Bitcoin price continue to correct, the Bitcoin price has this purple trend line that I just showed you. Currently, it is breaking through the line, and as you can see, the Solana price is following suit. Should the Bitcoin price break through its purple line, which is in the $70,000 range, then we will likely see a correction towards $55,000. Then the Solana price would land at around $51. The final price target for Solana in the event of a major correction towards $40,000 would be in the $26 range. These green lines are reversal points for the Bitcoin price. So assuming the Bitcoin price heads towards $40,000, the Solana price would hold at around $33. If the Bitcoin price heads towards $50,000, the Solana price heads towards $47. So in principle, it's a very simple situation. I'll repeat it again. Wednesday will definitely be volatile. Personally, I expect, though I could be wrong of course, that the Fed decision will have a rather negative impact on the market. The quarterly earnings could have a positive impact. So it's definitely going to be volatile. You need to be very careful on Wednesday, and you also need to be very careful on Thursday, because the next day the price will move even more sharply downwards or upwards depending on the situation. Thanks for watching. Be very careful. It's going to be volatile, and see you later.